Welcome to worship with the Universalist Unitarian Church of Peoria. My name is the Reverend Innis. It is my great joy to be the minister with this congregation of people of all ages at all stages of life. This is a beloved community striving to live into its mission of embracing freedom, growing in mind, body, and spirit, loving the whole community with a big heart, and adding to the wholeness and the healing of the world. We welcome people of all ethnicities and races, politics, sexual orientation, gender identities, social economic statuses, and abilities. And we advocate for human rights, and we strive to be good stewards of this earth. So in living our mission, we recognize the network of relationships of which we are a part. This is the ancestral home of the Peoria people. They and other nations were here long before the first European settlers came down the Illinois River. And so we take a moment, as we have been asked to do in our service, to recognize the Peoria people for who they were and for who they are today. I want to thank folks for joining us in person and online. We know how valuable it is to be together, to enlarge our circles of care and relationship. So thank you for coming and checking us out if you are brand new. And we have lots of name tags. We love all the questions, so please help us get to know you. And I invite everybody to stay after service to join us for coffee and conversation in Fellowship Hall. And also, if you're joining us on Zoom, then the conversation can happen there as well. Let me invite you as we gather to turn your respective devices to worship mode. It's always good to check again because, boy, there might be a stray device that just showed up and you never knew it. Honestly, I keep wondering myself. I have a few notes for today. This afternoon, the youth of the Affirming Faith Communities of Greater Peoria are gathering for a social event. We're gathering over at First Baptist here in Peoria at 4 o'clock. It will be cookie decorating for Earth Day because there has to be more cookies, and why not Earth Day? So that's what we're doing together. It's targeted at middle school youth, but really open to all families as well. So come on down or ask me about that. This coming Wednesday, we have a special opportunity. There are monks from India visiting Bradley this week, and so we are hosting them on Wednesday, April 30th, for dinner and discussion. We're trying to do a potluck, vegetarian preferred, and they're interested in kind of learning about all culture and sharing theirs. So this happened to kind of come up as an opportunity, so I want to invite folks to come and join us. There's a sign up. You can contact Jesse Laughlin to sign up, but also there's, if you're on the email distribution, there's a link there to just let us know that you're coming as well. So I have a note about next Sunday. Next Sunday is May 4th. It's May 4th. If you're a Star Wars person, you might know where this is going. Also, May is the start of our monthly theme focused on imagination. So one of the common expressions in the Star Wars universe is, "May the Force be with you." So May the 4th be with you. Yes, we go there. And it is a rare treat to have May 4th land on a Sunday. So I'm going to say congregations across the country are embracing this moment. our fellow UU congregations, there is a whole minister's thread on what are you doing on May 4th. So next Sunday, we're declaring it's Star Wars Sunday, and costumes are welcome. And I will also say, if you're not a Star Wars person, if you want to come in another costume, you go right ahead. We welcome all the franchises. Yes. And you don't have to be a Star Wars fan to appreciate the service. The middle school class has created a skit that will be part of our time for all ages. And science fiction, if I may say, is the exploration of the human condition in imaginary worlds. In this case, it is how one galaxy faced the struggle between liberation and oppression. So I want to invite everybody come and join us next Sunday. Come and bring your friends. And we will also have some activities for all ages after the service as well. And now I'd like to invite Galen Fadley forward for our word about our annual campaign.
Good morning. I'm Galen Fadley, and I'd like to give you an update on the annual campaign. Last week, I shared that 77% of the church's budget comes from our pledges. We received some questions about the rest, specifically if there are external entities, such as the UUA, that contribute to our budget as well. The answer is no. This church is 100% self-funded. The church belongs to us, and we support it. This makes pledging that much more important. You don't have to be a member to pledge. In fact, almost 10% of our pledges come from non-member families. For new or reinstated pledges, we have a one-to-one match program. So this is a great time to start or resume your pledge. Our goal for this year is $366,000. To achieve this, on average, we each need to increase our pledge by 10%. We acknowledge that this is a big ask. It will be more possible for some than others. If you can do more, please step up for others that are able to do less. I would like to say a huge thank you to those that have already pledged. The total as of Friday was just over $206,000. And we're on pace for the 10% increase. Our next threshold is $225,000 for karaoke. Let's see if we can make that happen next Sunday. It would be amazing to see us all singing dressed in Star Wars costumes. Next Sunday is also the day that we'd like all the pledges in by. So if you've not gotten your pledge in yet, please do so as soon as possible. If you did not pick up your packet in person, they were mailed early last week. We have heard that the mail service may be taking a little longer than normal. So if you are here with us today and you have not gotten your packet yet, please stop by the table and see an annual campaign person wearing one of these hats, and we will get you a packet. We're also available to answer any questions you may have about pledging. Finally, our wonderful office manager, Melissa, is with us today, and she'll be in the foyer during coffee hour to answer any questions about online payments or online pledging. I'd now like to welcome BJ Lindsay for a testimonial. Thank you.
Thank you, Galen. As Galen said, I am BJ Lindsay. Hello, and it is a great honor to be invited to speak with you today. I'd like to tell you a little bit about what this church has meant to me and to my family. So, first of all, you need to know my family is not like a lot of other families. I mean, we're different. We are unique. Some people might even say we're weird. But you know what? That's okay. I personally choose to fully embrace my weirdo identity. So, however you might describe it, my family is unique. We're who we are. And the thing about this church is that it's always welcomed us, just as we are, for who we are. Since we joined in December of 2016, this congregation has always let us be just who we are and embraced us for our unique and beautiful selves. Now, one of the most important and special ways in which this church has welcomed us has to do with our son, Owen. As some of you may know, Owen was born with autism and developmental distinctions. And because of his differences, his uniqueness, he experienced the world differently than a lot of other people. And he had his own unique way of communicating, including telling jokes that probably 98% of folks would not really understand. But he loved humor. In the world outside this church, Owen's uniqueness often created challenges and sometimes real serious struggles for him and for us and even for others around us. But here in this beloved community, Owen always fit in. This congregation not only accepted Owen as he was, but embraced him and celebrated him, as well as the rest of us. The church has been here for us through the most important events in our family. And we have another son too, by the way. His name's Ross. But the church has been through it with us in many ways through so many key events in our lives over the last several years, including holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, where we've come to the awesome holiday lunches here with our congregation family. And for a very special Easter service 3 years ago, in which Owen and his commitment to this congregation were celebrated officially with a dedication ceremony, our church's alternative to a baptism. Now, here's a fun fact. Maybe you didn't know this. I wasn't aware of this until Owen decided he wanted one. But a dedication ceremony is usually for kids. The church doesn't really usually do those for adults. But here was our 23-year-old adult son devoting himself officially to this congregation, with the congregation devoting itself officially to him and to us right back. Now, this church has been with us through another key event, very unexpected and not at all joyous for us, when Owen died on February 23rd, 2023. As you might imagine, especially those of you who are parents, that's been devastating. But this church helped us honor his memory, celebrate his life in a way that I doubt you could find at many other churches. Reverend Jennifer mentioned Star Wars. We are a total Star Wars nerd family. Let's hear it for Star Wars. Well, we were able to have Star Wars music played at his celebration of life service. Star Wars quotes. We also got to have wonderful music by Kansas and the Beatles performed by our very own Steve Fairbanks. Thank you, Steve. So even as Owen's life was so unique and beautiful, we had a unique and beautiful celebration of it, thanks to this beautiful congregation. Later that year, we celebrated another special event in our family's life journey. When our son, Ross, remember, we had 2 sons, Ross got married here in this very church. Actually, Reverend Jennifer's first wedding that she performed in here, in this sanctuary. So he married our wonderful daughter-in-law, Emily. By the way, he's graduating in May from ICC with honors, so yay, Ross. But I doubt that would have been possible for Ross if we hadn't all had the support of this congregation, because he's been through it a lot too over the last couple years. Another unexpected and sad event in our lives was when Terrence's mom died in February. But yet again, the congregation was here for us and has been here for us through it all to support us. This congregation has showed us love through all these things, through all these events in life, especially Reverend Jennifer, our wonderful, wonderful minister. I cannot really say enough good things about her and what a wonderful blessing she's been. This is a church truly for all seasons of nature, and all of the celebrations that go with each season, like Easter last Sunday, and even, Star Wars Sunday next Sunday. But seasons of our lives, through celebrations like a dedication, through a celebration of life when someone dies, and just through the ongoing support that we've gotten all year round ever since we've been part of this beautiful, beloved community. So thank you all, everybody, for welcoming us. And may the force be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, BJ. And thank you, Galen. I want to offer a note, one more note, since part of what we're doing, the focus of the service is on Earth Day and kind of the gifts that we receive and give to the earth, the reciprocal relationship. I want to encourage you at any time during the service. We have little post-it notes. We have a little table, a little altar up here for the celebration of the earth. There's post-it notes. You can write something on those. You can take a piece of paper out of the pews and so on. We're going to have a part during the sermon for that as well. But I want to invite you, if there's something you want to express about gratitude, some way you'd like to give back to the earth, this is a good moment to kind of write that down. If you want to keep it to yourself, go for it. If you want to share it with our altar, go for that as well. And now, I want to have us turn to our opening song. This month's theme is living love through the practice of joy. And we have been singing the song This Joy from the Resistance Revival Chorus as the first song every Sunday this month. And I want to thank Kathy McNeil for providing the music for that song in particular and for the music today as a whole. So I invite you to please rise in body or spirit, and we will sing This Joy.
This joy that I have, you give me. This joy that I have, this joy
Let me invite Tony Huerta forward for our opening words.
Good morning. And what a beautiful one we have today. Prayer of Co-Creation by Lynn Cox. Creative Spirit, source of life and love, we give thanks for the beauty of this day and for the company of those assembled here. Thank you for the breezes of change, clearing our heads and bringing fresh ideas. May they cleanse our minds of oppressions and isms that divide us. Thank you for the flame of hope, the heat of righteous anger, the warmth of compassion, the fire of commitment. May they bubble the cauldrons of transformation. Thank you for the oceans of love, rivers of connection, tears of relief, and pools of serenity. May healing waters flow over us and through us and among us, wearing down the sharp rocks of despair to bring joy in the morning. Thank you for the good earth beneath us, around us, and within us. May we take this clay and co-create a new realm of justice and beauty. Thank you for all of these and more. We accept our gifts and commit to building, sculpting, painting, singing, and dancing them to life, to abundant life. So be it. Blessed be. Amen.
Now I'd like to invite the Spellman family forward to light our chalice.
Alive in All Creation by Reverend Sherry Woodbury. Spark of the Spirit, cupped in earth's embrace, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle this flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life.
Somebody sang for me, had me on their mind, took the time and sang for me. I'm so glad they sang. I'm so glad they sang. I'm so glad they sang for me. Somebody sang for me, had me on their mind, took the time and sang for me. I'm so glad they sang. I'm so glad they sang. I'm so glad they sang for me. During our music for meditation, all are welcome to come forward for a chance to light candles and make a small light that acknowledges what is within you and with you. If you're online, you're welcome to let these candles be for you as well. And let me also invite, if you've had something that's come to mind, you've written it down in terms of your relationship with the earth, what you give, what you receive. This is a good time to visit our small altar as well. And now let us enter into our music for meditation. In honor of Earth Day, we have a note from the Reverend Leslie Takahashi. O source of life, we are grateful for your consistency, expressed in tree rings and rock formations, the half-life of stars and the depths of oceans, and in the gentle, persistent spinning of the planet. Remind us of the constancy you need from us as well to temper our needs to fit within your limitations and suppress our desires so your life forces can persist. In this day, we reconnect to our life-giving, breath-freeing connection with you. And in so doing, may we be reminded of the changes we must pursue to make commitment of the planet our everyday devotion. This is the time for the sharing of joys and sorrows of the congregation. I want to start with offering congratulations to my spouse, the Reverend Patrick Price. This April 30th, this Wednesday, is the 30th anniversary of his ordination. I know, right? Yeah, so his ordination is beginning to have a midlife crisis, so that's okay. He's not with us today. You'll not be seeing him for the next several weeks. He's now the sabbatical minister with the Unitarian Universalist Church in Bloomington Normal. So he'll preach for a little bit, he'll come back, and we'll go back and forth a bit for the next several months. We want to offer congratulations on a wedding, the wedding of someone who grew up in the congregation. So let me invite Cullen, if you pull up the photo of the happy couple, Bear Flint Gruber and their sweetheart, Kat Lee. There we go. They celebrated their marriage yesterday in a California mountain valley next to a strong, small running brook in the redwood trees. And let me ask for the next photo as well. Their pet corgi and two small boys preceded them down the aisle with bubble guns. Yay, so best wishes to the couple. I want to also offer a note of joy for the League of Women Voters event here yesterday. Their Shine on Democracy event filled the sanctuary and made the news. Their speakers addressed voting, immigration, food insecurity, media and public radio, the arts, and more. Let me turn to healing wishes. I want to offer a note of healing wishes to Nancy Taylor. Last Saturday, April 19th, there was the democracy rally in downtown Peoria. And unfortunately, as she was leaving, she fell and was injured. She's receiving treatment, including for a broken shoulder and a broken wrist. I know, it's going to be a bit. She has wonderful support from her family and the caring committee, and she also appreciates all of the care from the congregation as a whole. Let me turn one note to our larger world. We recognize and honor the death of Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church. He died about a week ago at age 89. He was known for his compassion for the most marginalized people and his recognition of human diversity. In his words, "A touch of mercy transforms everything. It is the most profound feeling we can have. It alters the world." He had his last public appearance on Easter Sunday. His funeral was yesterday. May the leaders who choose the next pope be just and wise and compassionate in their process. I invite us to hold one more moment together. In our circle, we have room for all the names and the milestones, the joys and sorrows that are among us. I invite you to join me and hold one more moment in quiet as we breathe. Shalom, salam, amen, and blessed be. And now I want to invite Melissa Anderson to come and tell us the story today. Melissa is the excellent office manager with this congregation and is also a minister with one of our local churches. It is a treat to include her in today's service.
And it's very good to be here. Good morning. Today's story is adapted from The Grumpy Gecko by Don Casey and Ann Wilson. Other than the coloring page insert in your order of service, we don't have illustrations to show for the story, so I invite you to use your imagination. Close your eyes if it helps, and imagine a jungle on the Indonesian island of Bali. It is night, but not a scary night. A peaceful, well, maybe not so peaceful night. You'll see what I mean. In a shady glade, the chief of the jungle slept until gecko, gecko, gecko. Tiger woke up with a snort. He opened one yellow eye. Gecko, he growled. What do you want? It's the middle of the night. I've come to complain. What could Gecko the lizard have to complain about? He spent most of his days lazing around, just sleeping and eating. Even when he was hungry, all he had to do was flick out his sticky tongue and lick up a mosquito. What's troubling you? Tiger asked. It's the fireflies, said Gecko. All night long they fly around, flashing their lights in my eyes, keeping me awake. Flashing and flickering, I haven't slept for days. It's making me grumpy. You're the chief of the jungle. Make them stop. Tiger stifled a gigantic yawn. I'll talk to the fireflies, he promised Gecko. Tiger sighed and set off to find the fireflies. Wading through wet paddy fields, the night vibrated with the chirps and croaks of frogs and the trills of a million insects. Above the paddies, the fireflies flickered and flashed. Fireflies? Tiger called. Gecko says you've been disturbing his sleep, flashing and flickering all night long. Is this true? Well, we do flash our lights all night, replied the fireflies, but we don't want to disturb anyone. We're just passing on Woodpecker's message. We heard him drumming out a warning. I see, said Tiger. Then I'll talk to Woodpecker. At the edge of the paddies, Tiger found Woodpecker drumming against a coconut palm. Rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat. Woodpecker? Tiger winced. The fireflies say you've been rapping and tapping, tapping and rapping, drumming out a warning. Is this true? Of course, said Woodpecker, puffing up his feathers. I provide a great service. Clearly, my efforts are not appreciated. He looked down his long beak at Tiger. Beetle rolls manure right across the path. I warn the jungle animals so that no one steps in it. Without my drumming, who knows what mess you'd all be in? Oh, said Tiger. Well, that's very helpful. Thank you. Tiger licked his nose thoughtfully. I'll go speak to Beetle. It was easy to spot Beetle on the jungle path. In the moonlight, his back gleamed like polished metal. What's all this? Tiger asked. Woodpecker says you're rolling filthy mess all over the place. Yes, can't stop, Beetle replied, rolling a ball of dung right up to Tiger's paw. Water buffalo drops piles of it all over the path. If I don't move some away, there'll be muck everywhere. Excuse me. Tiger lifted his paw and Beetle bustled past. Okay, said Tiger, suppressing a sigh. Thank you, Beetle. I'll go and see Buffalo. Tiger found Buffalo asleep in a pool of mud. Buffalo, Tiger roared. Beetle says you've been leaving your manure all over the path. Is this true? Oh, yes, sir, said Buffalo, lowering his head. I leave manure all over the path, sir, but you see, sir, it's helpful, sir. Rain washes holes in the path every afternoon. I leave manure only to fill up the holes so that no one trips and falls. If I didn't, sir, someone could get hurt. I see, said Tiger. Well, that's very thoughtful of you, Buffalo. Tiger's tail twitched. He was beginning to lose patience. He sighed. I'll go ahead and hear what Rain has to say. Tiger set off for Mount Agoon, the highest peak on the island and the home of Rain. Tiger climbed and he climbed and he climbed. He climbed through jungle, woodland, and scrub, and then he climbed some more. At last, he reached the mountain peak. He stopped to catch his breath. He looked down the mountain. The sun was rising. Tiger stared. Jungle spread out for miles around, flamboyant with flowers, wild orchids and climbing lilies, trumpets of violet blue and starbursts of brilliant flame red. Tiger sniffed. He smelled jasmine, hydrangeas, frangipani. He swiveled his ears. He heard newborn streams trickling and tinkling. And below the jungle, on the green gold steps of the paddy fields, he could just make out the faint flicker and flash of the fireflies. No need to ask why rain rains, Tiger smiled. He cooled his paws in a stream and watched for a while. He watched the water journey from mountain to sea, sustaining every living thing on its way, even the tiniest mosquito. Tiger plunged his muzzle into the clear, fresh water and drank. Then he began the long journey down the mountain and through the forests and jungles and paddies to find Gecko. It was dusk by the time Tiger found the lizard again. Well, Gecko demanded, did you talk to the fireflies? They're still flashing and flickering on and on. Did you tell them to stop? Gecko, Tiger said. He sat down on his haunches and spoke very slowly. Listen carefully. The fireflies flash to pass on Woodpecker's warning. Woodpecker warns everyone not to step in Beetle's dung. Beetle clears up the excess dung left by Buffalo. Buffalo leaves manure on the path to fill up the holes made by rain. Rain makes holes in the path as he creates streams and lakes and puddles. Puddles where mosquitoes live. Oh, said Gecko. Gecko, what do you eat? Mosquitoes, said Gecko. So, said Tiger. So, repeated Gecko slowly. Yes. If rain stopped raining, yes. Buffalo could stop filling holes. Uh-huh. And Beetle could stop rolling dung. Yes. And Woodpecker could stop drumming. Mm-hmm. And the fireflies could stop flashing. Yes, Gecko. But I would have nothing to eat. Exactly, said Tiger. Gecko, everything in this world is connected. Go and live in peace with the fireflies. So Gecko stuck himself upside down underneath the branch of a tree. He closed his eyes. He went to sleep. The fireflies flickered and flashed, and Tiger snored.
I invite the children and youth and their adults to go to the RE wing for their program for today. Let us sing them out. It is our practice in our congregation, a congregation that is, as Galen put it, completely self-sustaining. It is our practice to celebrate and recognize all the gifts that are given to create the work together, to sustain the ministry, to do wonderful things out in the world beyond these walls. So we appreciate and take a moment in our service to receive the offering, to pass the plates, and to make that act of giving a tangible, specific act. And we also give a portion of our generosity out into the world through our Share the Plate program. We collect half of the undesignated offering goes to our local group that is doing good things in Peoria. And so for this month, it is the Central Illinois Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired. They have provided support and encouragement for the blind and visually impaired community since 1955. They do practical work such as setting up households, getting the right phones or other kind of devices that would be helpful. And also it provides a chance for socializing, for getting connected with people, for mutual support. So through our Share the Plate program, we're supporting the Central Illinois Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired. Please use an envelope and designate where the offering you'd like that to go, and also go to the QR code in the order of service if you want to use that electronically. And now I'd like to invite the ushers to please come forward. Our reading today is Charge from the Earth by Irene Glass and the Reverend Rebecca Savage. And they say, there is a song beneath the soil. 10 million voices raise their call in no human language. Life flows through the tangle of roots, mycelium, microbiota, and crawling, burrowing, tunneling life. The song flows upward through trunks and stems and blades of tender grass and races out into the air. It is picked up and carried on no human tongues. It is in the footfall of paw and hoof. It hums in the buzz of wings and the fluttering of feathers. It shines on scales and fins and slithering skins. And if we are quiet and pay attention, sometimes we remember that we are part of this song as well, and we have notes to sing. The Anthropocene is an experiment. What happens when we humans forget that the life around us is part of us? That these lives have no less inherent worth and dignity? How many more singers of the earth song will go silent forever? Today we are charged to remember, to know that as we live together in community, we are also in community with the silently singing lives in the vast congregation of the earth as well. The interdependent web of existence is no allegory. It is as real as the heart beating in our chest. We are charged to do what we can to help those who cannot advocate with human language, who cannot scream for help when they are suffering. We have a role to play in the softening of the blow of the age of humans. We have a voice that can help shape the world to come. We are so charged in the name of the sacred song, the tapestry of life of which we are a part. Let us remember and then act. Here ends the reading. So the song we'll be singing is one that we've heard, I think, some time ago when we were doing like all videos for the hymns. But we're going to just have a chance to sing along with a video for it in a moment. But I wanted just to introduce the words to you. I'm going to do that a cappella, and we have the lyrics up on the screen. So I will offer it, and then we'll go and turn to the video. And I want to invite you to rise and sing with that. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. I invite you to rise by your spirit and sing with We Shall Be Known with by Mom Muse.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Of how we acknowledge the climate disaster of our time. So while checking in or saying hello, how are you? Often the response includes, well, aside from politics and the destruction of the earth, I'm doing okay. Sound familiar? The scale of the global crisis is such that mere humans, it's like, what can mere humans do in this church, in this one city, right? We talk about worsening storms and the lack of snow last winter, and often can't do much more than just shake our heads in a shared sorrow. And the moment is made worse by the current federal administration cutting off funding for parks, for protections of the environment, giving permission for exploiting natural resources and protected forests, the modest but essential forests in this country that help us breathe. It occurs to me also, as I stop to think about this, that places with, say, terrible prison conditions probably aren't doing much to save the planet either. If they can't even respect humans, what does that say about the rest of this life and the environment in which they live? One of my education colleagues called for humorous memes this morning, funny images that kind of tell the truth and also make us laugh, and might be like pink and cheerful in the process. So the one they started with in their post this morning on Facebook was kind of a pinky red dumpster all aflame. And the wish from that meme is, may the dumpster fire within you burn brighter than the dumpster fire around you. May the dumpster fire within you burn brighter than the dumpster fire around you. What I want to offer, as we have in this service, is a pause and a chance to reflect on what's around us, on the earth upon which we depend, acknowledge the connection, and be in touch with how we can give back, an exchange of gifts, if you will. Environmentalist, teacher, and activist Dr. Joanna Macy has been guiding many of us through hopelessness with her approach of the work that reconnects. She addresses the psychological and spiritual issues of the nuclear age, the cultivation of ecological awareness, and the rich connections between Buddhist thought and contemporary science. And she says, the most radical thing any of us can do at this time is to be fully present to what is happening in the world. Let me say again, the most radical thing any of us can do at this time is to be fully present to what is happening in the world. I will offer the prospect of being fully present. It's a little daunting. 2 weeks ago, we welcomed UU musician Jim Scott for his concert on a Friday evening, The Year to Save the Earth. And the music itself was moving and spoke to the range of glory and pollution that is with us, that we are creating. His work begins and ends with love and deep respect for the planet. But he also brought into this a whole experience of imagery with the music. And it filled me, the imagery itself filled me with love and guilt and despair. There was a few images of sea creatures choking on plastic. There was the vast floating island of garbage in the ocean as visible from space. There were acres and acres of garbage being picked over by the youngest and poorest of our fellow human beings, folks who are people of color, indigenous, Black. They were children, they were aged. And this music and these images were alongside the stunning beauty of the desert and lush flowers and miraculous sunrises. There was simply joy in the song about the rainforest, the levels of the rainforest. A little joy, a little education about all these levels all coming together in the song. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of love you sing. What a beautiful sound. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life you sing. What a beautiful sound. It was wonderful, and it was so hard to be fully present. But Dr. Joanna Macy reminds us that the gift of being present, the radical act of doing this, is not actually meant to be done by ourselves, in isolation. She talks about in the work that reconnects is about doing so in a way that is manageable, that is at the speed of grief and the speed of trust and the speed of joy. A writer who works with the work that reconnects paradigm, Jo Del Amor. She's been facilitating personal and cultural transformation and healing for the planet for nearly 20 years. Her book is Raising Children in the Midst of Global Crisis, a compassionate guidebook for parenting in turbulent times. And she's created what she calls the Count Your Blessings practice. And it's created for parents, for those of us who are guardians and caregivers of young people. But I'm going to say I think it works for everybody. And it comes from the core idea that where our attention goes, power flows. Say that again. Where our attention goes, power flows. I think we've been seeing that in the people, all of us who've been speaking up in the last few weeks, have we not? And she says, in a group setting, you can gather in a circle, maybe around a central altar, and have a supply of something beautiful like fresh flowers or silk flowers or leaves or ribbons or stickers or confetti. Over there, they have confetti and they toss wonderful, colorful things. And place onto the altar, that central spot, this abundance of beauty and wonderfulness as each person takes their turn sharing blessings in their lives. You can invite people to bring physical photos, beautiful objects that represents gratitude. And that center gathering builds up as the blessings are shared and spoken and items are bestowed upon it to give physical expression. And she makes the point, Jo Del Amor does, that this is not about comparing blessings, because some of us have more than others in certain areas of life. So it's not about comparison. Some of us have blessings we didn't earn, that privilege. All of us are struggling in ways that are seen and unseen. But there we all are. by the grace of countless blessings. So no matter who we are or how challenging our lives are in the moment, there's always blessings to count. And I'm going to say, this is not just for parents either. I think in this practice of count your blessings, what we get to speak to each of us, wherever we are in our lives, is speaking from what matters most, to be in touch with what matters in our hearts most deeply. And that is where those blessings and the articulation of them can come from. Those pieces the blessings that kind of hold us together, no matter the scope of the dumpster fire. And then we get to think about, what would you give? What do you receive? And what do you give? And that's part of what I wanted to add is a little bit of an action in this moment, a little bit of reflection. We get to practice giving attention and letting our power go in that direction, right? And in this moment, in Earth Day, we get to do that for and with the earth. This practice of gratitude, this practice of acknowledgement, it can lift the heart, help us rediscover joy. With that power flowing, can offer possibilities, dreams, and maybe not quite be so burdened by inadequacy or guilt. We get to experience connection, be open to creativity, imagination, maybe even different perspectives if we're doing this exercise with others. So appreciate the vision offered in this kind of practice from the Reverend Stephen Schick in his book, Be the Change, Poems and Prayers and Meditations for Peacemakers and Justice Seekers. He has a short poem called Suppose. Suppose. Suppose you scrub your ethical skin until it shines, but inside there is no music. Then what? Quotes the poet. Stephen Schick responds, suppose you cried for 1,000 years for a child who died when she drank bad water. Suppose you organized a great movement to clean the water. Suppose you carried the first filled glass to the child's sister. Suppose you lifted it to her lips. Suppose you watched her dive into the glass, splash, and swim on. This is the kind of flow of power, the flow of attention into power that can come from these kinds of practices, as Joanna Macy says, simply the radical act of paying attention. Stephen Schick speaks to that need for connection, that need to do something, and the potential of the action that follows from the doing. What would it mean in our lives to give and change and create, to see what comes from sending that energy forth? Mindful of time, I want to close here. So I want to just offer a couple of reflections, a couple of specific things that I was thinking about for this. What is the reciprocity, the relationship, the flowing back and forth? Yesterday I know that there was the Earth Day Festival at Forest Park Nature Center. There were vendors and drumming and chalk art and music and walking in the woods and savoring the day. I believe there was also sales of the current batch of maple syrup from Camp Wakanda. Am I right? There was that. So we have local maple syrup sourcing, and I am a fan of local maple syrup sourcing. And part of my attention in this moment and reflection was the reminder that every place from which we come has its own spirit, has its own flavor and savor. I'm just going to talk about maple syrup for one more moment here because I grew up with it coming from Vermont and coming from Canada. And now being in Illinois, I have probably 5 kinds of maple syrup in my house. And some are from away and some are from right here. And every one of those is its own taste, its own experience, its own little bit of wonder. This is that paying attention that Joanna Macy is asking us to do. How can we dive a little deeper, even in the smallest things among us, as part of our practice, as part of giving thanks, as part of recognition? But I also want to offer one specific thing if you want to do something this week from the Central Illinois Healthy Community Alliance. There was the Edwards coal plant that was closed in recent years, but they have an ash pond that is part of the leavings of the plant. And there's conversation about what to do with the ash pond and a portion of it. And there are some concerns about the safety. So if you want something specific to do this week, this coming Wednesday at 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. over at the Père Marquette Hotel, the Luminant Committee will offer an update on the coal plant ash pond closure plan. So they'll do a presentation and there'll be time for questions. And the community really needs people to show up and listen and ask questions. Oh, this is a great way to be intentional, is to keep asking, pay attention so you can keep asking good questions, bothersome questions, annoying questions. Go be annoying, right? In a good way. Or simply say, I wonder, and not be satisfied with a corporate answer, if you will. So I want to offer a specific thing that you can do this week, right now. And as we go forward, I want to keep inviting you to pay attention to the local work. We're still working on trying to divert the CO2 pipeline from coming around this way as well. There's always good things to do. And consider, what is your practice? What do you receive from the earth for blessings and can express as gratitude? And what would you give back to fulfill your side? And keep attending to where the attention goes, the power goes. Right? It is so good to be in that practice of gratitude. I was reminded of this as well by Neil deGrasse Tyson on Friday evening here in Peoria at the Civic Center. He talked about the search for life in the universe. I think we also get to pay attention to this moment in this place. He said, while we are alive in the universe is alive in us. While we are alive in the universe is alive in us. That attention and that power makes a difference. The most radical thing, Dr. Joanna Macy says, the most radical thing we can do is to be fully present to what is happening in the world. Let us go forth. Let us go forth and be present, be grateful, receive, and give back. Amen. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 1064, Blue Boat Home.
on this beautiful day, in this beautiful world. The final words will be Here and Beyond These Walls by Craig Rowland. As we extinguish this chalice flame, may the warmth of its light remain with us, guiding our steps and our hearts. Let us carry forward the strength of this community, the courage to speak the truth, and the hope that transformation is possible. In each breath we take, may we remember that the work of love, justice, and healing is ours to continue, both here and beyond these walls. Go in peace with the light of this gathering to illuminate your way.
From my colleague, the Reverend Dennis McCarty, we are part of the stars. We are part of the earth. The heavens, the sun, the soil, the rain work within the very cells of our bodies. We are created to be gifts from the universe to one another, to share and rejoice, and then go on our various ways. Let us do these things mindfully and with love. Our worship is ended. Let our service begin.